We got to talk about Sugar Bowl, though. Sugar Bowl is today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously, the reason it's at 4 p.m. Eastern time is an awful reason. There was an attack on Bourbon Street Wednesday morning. They postponed the game. Perfectly understandable. Trying to get everything secured. So now you have Georgia and Notre Dame. As intriguing a game as it was before, we're trying to figure out what's going to happen. Ari, we played Guess the PrizePicks number yesterday on Gunnar Stockton. And I think a lot of people were in the same boat I was. So if you're not playing PrizePicks already, download that app. Play $5, get $50 instantly when you use the code Staples to sign up. PrizePicks is a lot of fun. I have a PrizePicks play right now. I think I'm getting a reboot on, it just converted to a flex play because I had Evan Stewart more than 3.5 receptions and he didn't play. So, but I had Gunnar Stockton at more than 178.5 yards, which was up from when we talked about it on the show. We talked about it on the show yesterday. It was 170.5. It was 178.5 when I made the play. It is now 179.5. So everybody saw that number and was like, I think he's going to throw for more than that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know that he's going to even have to. Like the way that the game goes, it'll be interesting to see, how Georgia's defense does. Like there is a world where Georgia's defense just overpowers Notre Dame, right? Like I don't know.
I don't think anybody is going into this game thinking it's going to be an aerial assault by either team. That it's going to be, throwing the ball like crazy. Riley Leonard's pass yards number is 180.5, and his rush number is 46.5. So basically the thinking is the key to victory here is Riley Leonard with his legs, keeps some drives alive, frustrates the Georgia defense. And I do think that's how it works if you're Notre Dame. Like you need Riley Leonard to be able to use his legs to extend some drives. Then you can wear him down with Jeremiah Love. And I kind of starting to think it's going to come down to who's more dynamic, Jeremiah Love or Trevor Etienne in this game.
Yeah, there's no question. And like they're going to need to run the ball. They're going to need to possess the ball. And, Jeremiah Love has become one of the most consistent, best players in the sport this year. And I don't know if people have been sticking around long enough since the NIU game to notice it. But I think Jeremiah Love and Riley Leonard are obviously the two keys of the game here, because I think Notre Dame's offense is going to do a really good job or Notre Dame's defense is going to do a pretty good job hanging in there with Georgia's offense. And, listen, we've been very wrong about games going into it. Like this could be the first day that Gunnar Stockton is a household name in college football too. Like that's out there. So,
or Riley Leonard becomes a Notre Dame legend. It's like
right.
All of those things are possible. That's what's so exciting about this game. So yeah, check those PrizePicks numbers. They may fluctuate a little bit before kickoff, just because again, I think people think Gunnar Stockton's going to throw for a little more than that, but it may have settled at this point. But download the PrizePicks app, use the code Staples, play $5, get $50 instantly. All right, the thing about this game that I think is so exciting is just what I just said. Like what Gunnar Stockton could be a Georgia, like this is a kid from Rabun County, from Tiger, Georgia. He owns cows. He hasn't named his cows yet, by the way. Some dairy, some beef. I saw him interviewed by our guys at Dogs HQ about this topic. His hairline is he's a veteran. Let's put it that way. Like this dude could be a legend after this game.
Yeah. It doesn't take much with big time programs to cement yourself into the history. I saw Cardale Jones walking into the Rose Bowl yesterday, and it was like he had a very brief time as Ohio State starting quarterback, and he's a made man forever. So, it'll be very interesting to see what we get here today. And, obviously we were off on both games yesterday. We thought the Texas-Arizona State game was going to be a blowout, and then Ohio State and Oregon was going to be an instant classic, and it was the other way around. So, the best, most fun thing about college football is that it is it's about the unexpected, and there's a lot here that could go off the rails, and I'm super excited to see it.
And you've nailed the line moves on this game completely, because when I wrote the column coming out of the Notre Dame Indiana game that, hey, Notre Dame's going to open as a favorite against Georgia. While we were driving to Fort Wayne, it flipped to Georgia favored by a 1.5. And you said, no, the sharp money is going to come in at the end and flip it back to Notre Dame being the favorite. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And, like it or not, I think there's this notion that Georgia's just going to SEC him out of the building. But, I don't know what planet you're on if that's what you think. I think we have to have a conversation about this. And if Georgia ends up winning this game, the conversation might just be, or the call might be, is this Kirby Smart's best coaching job since he's been there, which is insane considering the fact that he's 2 national championships in the last 3 years. But
I think that's a legitimate. It's a legitimate claim. If we think about this, the 2 national championship teams were so stocked with talent. They were so loaded. And then the team that almost won the national championship that lost to Alabama on 2nd and 26, that team was absolutely stacked with NFL talent. Now, you can say what you want about Mark Richt, but that was probably the product of his best period of recruiting, or his best sustained period of recruiting. And then Kirby Smart then added on to it with some very good players, including Jake Fromm, who was a freshman that year. So it's not that wild an assertion. Kirby getting this team to the semis might actually qualify as his best coaching job at Georgia so far.
Yeah. So can't wait to watch the game.